Big Drive Energy Wednesday edition. We've got a hell of a PGA Tour schedule coming up. We're going to talk about Scottie Scheffler setting an all-time record here at the CJ Cup, just completely boat racing the entire field. We've got a major next weekend. A major or a signature event, Jesus Christ, this weekend, the Triust Championship, Philadelphia Cricket Club, great spot. And then we've got a major next weekend, the PGA Championship. We're going to hear from Eric Van Rooyen. He had some interesting comments regarding this. And then we are also going to discuss just anything else in the golf world. And I have a fun little exercise for Mitchell to do today on the show. He's going to grade me on my PGA Todd Fippers Media Award ballot. So he's going to grade that. We're going to do that all right after this on Big Drive Energy. Big Drive Energy Wednesday. We've got a banger of an episode. I believe it was a Dylan Dethier tweet or whatever you sent me, but incredible PGA Tour schedule coming up in the next 6 weeks. Basically, it's just just a bukkake of great PGA Tour events, and I am looking forward to it. I know you are. We will be live. At least one of us will be live for sure this coming Sunday for the Triust Championship. I will be on parade. So we're going to figure out what my story is, but
Spencer just hits me with I have a pool party I can't miss text.
It's part of a wedding, brother. It's not like I'm just like, hey,
it's a required pool. I don't think there's anybody that's like taking down RSVPs for a pool party. Like you just kind of fucking rent the pool out and whoever shows up. You're not like, do I get a +1 to this pool party? Will there be appetizers? Open bar at this pool party? Like you just fucking show up or you don't. And I think you could probably leave for like an hour to watch a little golf and talk golf with me, especially because you're at an all-inclusive, I assume. So this is going to be, it would be an all-timer if you're just shit hammered in the middle of the pod, like kind of like I was at the bachelor party a couple weeks ago.
Maybe I'll do it tarps off in a swimmy, get the people going.
Oh God, that we don't want to get fucking canceled. That's we don't need your personal pan pizzas on screen.
We'll have to make people pay for that shit. Hit my Patreon.
Put it behind a paywall.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So we're going to start this pod off today with an exercise because I am nominated, as you can see by the sick PGA sign, still a PGA member until at least this June for sure. Haven't decided if I'm going to continue that route, but either way, I'm still a PGA member, and I got nominated for the Todd Fippers Colorado PGA Media Award this year. I don't know who nominated me. I have no clue what's going on here. So I did my due diligence and filled out my sheet, and I want you to grade my answers based on the questions that were asked for me to fill out my ballot, if you will, my why should I win the Todd Fippers Media Award. All right, so here we go. All right. First question, please briefly describe how the nominee grows the game of golf at the facility, in the community, and throughout the section. Me. I host a golf podcast with my brother who also teaches golf, and we talk about all facets of the game from our unique perspective of being former pros at a green grass facility. We talk about the golf swing, PGA Tour, and interview others in the game of golf, including PGA Tour player, Korn Ferry Tour player, long drive champion, merchandisers, fitness instructors, tournament coordinators, and superintendents to give our audience a perspective on how golf works from behind the counter. I also host multiple community golf tournaments for DNVR Sports, allowing the community to come together to play golf a few times in all different cities throughout America and support specific golf charities like Backswing Golf, which raises money to pay for inspiring women professionals to live out their dreams of playing LPGA Tour events. We've also covered various PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour events as media in the past, giving our following a look behind the scenes of professional events. Grade me on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being terrible, 5 being at the top of how I did answering that question.
I think that was a 5. Like, you absolutely put whipped cream on dog shit with that answer. You're like the kid whose resume, you volunteer for a couple hours of like a boys and girls club, and all of a sudden you've got that on it's basically sounded like an overdone college resume, but it's all of it's true, I guess. And it's kind of the thing, when you hear it yourself, it sounds really impressive, but then you think about actually doing it and it's just not nearly as impressive in your head as it actually sounds to other people. But I thought that was phenomenal. I thought you did a great job. I can tell you're fucking trying to hold back laughter there with your fucking tears you got coming. But that, I mean, yeah, it's all true. It is
I would never falsify any documents. Come on.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no shit. You are the king of like the resume builder. You knew how to do that. You can spruce up anybody's resume. I will say that the backswing golf thing that is at the tournaments, I definitely felt a little taken advantage of the first time that we did that. Just full disclosure, like, you end up shelling out like $50 to $100 and you virtually get nothing out of it. I'm kidding. You can win like a rangefinder. It just depends on where you're at. But the cause is amazing. It is just kind of demeaning though, because I'm also a pro. So if the chick hits it closer than me, then it just makes me look like shit. And they also kind of talk down to me, like they like know that they're better than me, and I don't appreciate that either. So maybe that's what had me fucked up. Like, the girl's like, "Oh, that's okay." I'm like, "Don't talk to me like,
don't that's okay me."
Yeah, no shit. But no, I think you did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, we all beat the pro this past week at our tournament on Friday. She hit a pretty bad golf shot. I felt kind of bad for her, but then I ripped one to like 10 feet, so no problem. All right. Please briefly describe your service to the Colorado PGA and the PGA of America. Briefly, this is very brief. I am a 10-year PGA professional, starting as a first assistant in 2015 to become a director of golf in 2020, doing that until 2022, when I took my career to the media side. You don't really have to give that a grade. It's more of just a fact of my sad 30-year-old life, right?
No, I mean, it is insane that you graduated 10 years ago. Like, you've been in the PGA for a full 10 years. It feels like you blink and we're here. Like, we're both in our 30s now. It just fucks me up to actually hear that you've been a PGA member for 10 years.
Yeah, it's banana lands.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your background/experience in media, and what types of media have you worked with? Print, broadcast, online, etc. I said, I've always wanted to be in sports media, and while becoming a golf professional, I hosted a more general podcast. In 2020, we reached out to DNVR Sports to see if their media company was interested in hosting a golf-specific feed, and Big Drive Energy was born. We do the podcast on both YouTube and audio weekly and bi-weekly, and turn around bigger events and create online content via Instagram and TikTok.
That's fair. I think you forgot our golf course reviews that we did years ago while we were still at our golf course that you would hammer on me to write. Remember when we did those?
Yeah,
course
I love
reviews?
those. The 5 stars, 4 stars. That shit was electric.
Yeah.
I want to do that
no,
more.
It was fun. It felt very underappreciated. I feel like it's something we could look back on and be like, I think that would actually be of use to the general public, but it just really probably like 4 people have seen those. So
yeah, I think we do them again, but we do them in video form and like with actual pictures and like a real form of like, hey, here's what the snack bar looks like. This is why it's getting 5 stars for amenity. Something like that. I think in video form would do really well.
yeah, maybe we can just do like a rate this course. It would actually, I'm just think tanking it right here on the pod, but we could do like just pictures of the course, like short snippet videos of different areas of the course, and we don't even really need like any audio or any specific video, and then we could just throw up like amenities, course condition, greens, views, shit like that, and just kind of get short snippets and do course reviews that way. That's a good content idea. I like that.
Yeah, we're just fucking workshopping content mid-pod. Love to see that. All right, please list any section or PGA America awards you received and the year received. NA.
Well, you won the you won the scholarship as a college kid. I don't know if that counts as being PGA, but what was the scholarship called? That was a pretty big deal, right?
I don't even remember that's how big of a deal it was.
No, the big scholarship for the UCCS PGM program.
Oh, maybe it was the Ed Kelble Award, or now
Yeah,
it's
the
called
Ed
that.
Kelble Award. You forgot that. You left that out. That's a big deal. You were the neediest kid in the entire PGM class. You know how to fucking pump up a sob story. That's for sure. You fucking got that shit working good.
Don't honk at me. My dad died.
That is an all-time bumper. That is an all-time bumper sticker. That shit cracks me up.
Well, that's it for my application. So I just want to go through that little exercise. We'll see. Maybe I'll have to go to I'll actually have to attend a PGA meeting if I'm getting awarded the Todd Fippers Media Award. Be pretty electric. I don't know how many people are in it.
Is this a black tie event? Do they it was funny. You've never watched the show Frasier, and I doubt that anybody that listens to this pod has watched the show Frasier, but they do this media award, and they're like, oh, it's a breakfast award, not a dinner award. So it's pretty funny that they're like doing a breakfast buffet and also eating or doing an award show during breakfast, and you're like clearing out by 11 a.m. But I would love to see you do a little black tie. It looks like Spencer has left the stream for a bit. Okay, looks like he's back.
I'm back. I was wiping my eyes, but I'm also trying to do a little production value. So like, if you're just talking, I'm gonna give you the whole screen.
Wow,
that
kind of fucks me up. It feels like I'm looking into the abyss, like nobody's listening to me.
Well, just know that I'm here until I'm not. So,
luckily, I'm really good at talking when no one listens. Just ask my girlfriend; she's not fucking listening to me like 99% of the time, and I somehow just fucking keep firing off random facts about nothing. So,
yeah, I think I want to do that more often. Give us a little p-value on the scenario, and like, hey, like Mitchell's talking, he's gonna have the tour. And then we can do it that way. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's
it. Yeah, I mean, well, it also shows the messy bed that I have back to my right.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, me on full screen would not be ideal with this fuck show I got going behind me. It looks
yeah,
good,
exactly. Picture, but... Yes, exactly. This is ideal. This is how I've built it. So let's just keep it here. Let's
okay.
And thank God it doesn't go down because you don't need to see. I just turned on the AC in here because I'm starting to sweat my tits right off my body. So it's actually
Dude, is it hot there?
It's not hot, but it's like in the mid 70s and it's definitely getting humid. So it's a fucking sweat pile in here. Like yesterday, so I'm gonna be real. Yesterday I had a couple lessons and I've been out of town for 10 days. We were in Colorado, then Arizona. It was great. But when you're out of your routine for a while, you look forward to getting back to it. I think our mom kind of instilled a routine-oriented mindset in us at a young age because she's very routine-oriented, and I think you and I both are pretty routine-oriented. So I was just ready to get back to my routine of, waking up, checking the stock market, getting ransacked by the stock market, going to the gym, going to the golf course, teaching, just getting back into more production value here. Thank you. But I was trying to get back into my routine yesterday. And so I headed down to the golf course, and it was one of those days where it was probably high 60s in temperature, high 60s, low 70s, and a little overcast, but it was just nice and cool. And there was a little breeze going, and it was just the most perfect weather day. And I was standing out on the driving range teaching, and I was like, wow, I'm pretty lucky to do this shit. Like, I actually took a step back for a second and realized that my job is standing on a driving range, helping people improve their golf game and just being outside in the gorgeous weather. And when it's 95 and I'm sweating through my shirt this summer, I might not feel the exact same, but sometimes you just gotta, smell the roses. And yesterday I really enjoyed it. So it uplifted my spirit. Like, it just felt really good. And it really does feel like this is the beginning of summer. And not gonna lie, New Jersey in the winter isn't terrible, but you kind of forget like what's so attractive about it. And then now this week we came back, everything is blooming like crazy. It's super green, it's super pretty. And I'm like, okay, this is why. I remember how I felt last summer about just going to the beach and how stoked I was for the summertime. And now I'm starting to feel that way again about playing golf and just doing a bunch of fun summer shit. Like you know just as well as I do, the majority of our time as actual green grass golf pros, the summer is the thing you look forward to the least, because that just means you're there 50, 60 hours a week. It just is a slog of dog shit basically the entire summer. You look forward to October, November, getting away in the winter, not having people in your face 24/7. But now that you and I are in different fields, relatively speaking, summer is something that we can truly look forward to. Like, I already can't wait to come back for the member guests. We're planning on going to the Travelers Championship again next month. You guys are coming out here to New Jersey next month. We're coming back, or Mom's going to come out in August. Like, there's just so many fun things. We're going to Chicago in August. So I'm just very excited. And the stretch of golf, which we're going to get into, it feels like the middle of August relatively for football season, where now we're really ramping up into the heart of golf season. We've got a signature event, then a major, then a couple other great events, and then the US Open. Like, it's just,
So it's going to be, I'll just back you up on that. So this is the Matt Vincenzi at Matt Vincenzi PGA. This is the tweet you sent me. Best stretch of the PGA Tour coming up, in my opinion. Philly Cricket Club for the Triust, which is a signature event.
Wait,
PGA
can I stop you real quick? Are you saying Triust or Truist?
Triust.
It's Truist.
Is it? Have I been spelling it wrong? Fucking.
Are you spelling it Treist? It's Tru.
Triust. Oh, God.
Truist.
Truist. I think you're wrong, brother.
Am I smoking?
Truist. Oh, you're right. Ah, fuck. I spelled it wrong in the title. Well. That's an L
we're
for
missing
the
out on
spelling
those
for me
views
today.
How did you spell it?
Anybody looking for the Triust is going to find us. Anybody looking for the Truist is not going to find us.
Oh my God.
Sorry about that.
That's an all-timer. I was just curious because I'm like, are you saying Triust, or is this like a Pan Pam dilemma?
I can't fix the Pan Pam dilemma, but
no. Okay. Oh, you spelled it Triust instead of Truist. I thought you spelled it like Treist. I'm like, where the fuck did you get that?
No. Okay, so Philly Cricket Club, PGA Championship, then Colonial, then Memorial, then the Canadian Open, then the US Open. Electric stretch of golf here and after how the last couple weeks have been, I'm ready to get back to it, or at least this last week. And you want to hop into that? You got anything else that you want to, any housekeeping notes before we get into Scottie Scheffler and his performance?
Yeah, I made the grave mistake again. So we were laying out by the pool in Scottsdale, and my belly button once again fell victim to the big flaming ball that is the sun. I torched my belly button. I had ice and my shins. Like, you would think that, like, when I put sunscreen on, I obviously cover my chest, my upper arms, things that don't always get a lot of sun. But my calves are one thing that I feel like gets a lot of sun. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to be fine. I don't need to put sunscreen on my calves. And lo and behold, they just get torched. And then I did put sunscreen on my feet. So it was kind of like it was definitely a golf tan looking, where my feet are a little bit whiter. I actually did get a little bit of a tan. And let's see, the peaks of my forehead have now calmed down, but I also kind of torched my forehead as well. So it was just a grave experience. I had ice on my belly button as well as both of my calves laying on the couch down in Scottsdale. So that was fun. But just making the mistake, like, I do occasionally think I'm tougher than the sun, and it inevitably comes back to bite me directly in the ass or belly button. So that was kind of all I had. I guess other housekeeping, the Nuggets are good. The NBA is just fun right now between the Pacers, the Knicks, the Nuggets. I mean, it is just kind of all around just a fun time to watch the NBA. Like, I look forward to every game every single night. So I think, what are you doing here, Chief?
Yeah, all the Nuggets are good. They're absolutely cooking. That game on Monday night just had me juiced to the moon. And I even told you, like, we were texting during the game, and I was like, I'm so frustrated by this loss, even though I shouldn't be, because they were just, they'd get it from 13 to 8, and then it'd just be stupid play, 3, 2, layup, 13 again. And then they get it to 5, and then dumb play, turnover, fucking, it's 11 again. And they were just like, the Thunder were just like the guy with the longer arm that was just holding our head, that we're swinging away below, but we can't get to him. And then finally at the end, I mean, just an all-time comeback from the boys. And I think Ryan Rucco maybe was on the call, I want to say, which I really like him. I don't remember who it was on the call for sure, but I just know it wasn't Van Gundy, or if it was, I was pretty high, to be honest, when I was watching the game. So whoever was commentating just kept saying championship pedigree, and it felt so good to be the team that has that and be like, the fuck yeah, we're the ones that are ready for this, not you guys.
Yeah, it is just so funny. I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast talking about all the basketball, because he had Zach Lowe on, and Zach Lowe is just a very good, like, NBA reporter. I like him a lot. But they were like, yeah, every single year we do this, where the Rockets are a favorite, the Thunder are a favorite, these teams that are young and haven't been there, and they look great in the regular season. But that is one of my favorite things about the NBA, is it truly feels like the NBA is still like the last sport where experience really trumps anything else. Where if you have a group of dudes that have been there and done that against a group of guys that haven't, like, look at what the Warriors are doing. Like, I mean, and the T-Wolves just looked like dog shit. The T-Wolves are the most mysterious team in the entire NBA to me, because they can just look like they have the lowest floor and the highest ceiling, where when everything is clicking for them, it's like 96 Bulls. It just feels like nobody can fucking beat them. And maybe they just do that because they get up for the Nuggets, but like Jaden McDaniel and Alexander Walker and Naz Reid look like fucking LeBron, Bosh, and Dwayne Wade against the Nuggets. And then last night they had like 6 points and like a million turnovers. Anthony Edwards was like 1 of 10 from the field. Like, the fucking Warriors lost Steph Curry in the middle of the second quarter and still beat the Timberwolves. Like, the Timberwolves, I think, had like 35 points at halftime. It just,
yeah,
I don't understand how a team can be that bad.
Well, I guess, they won game 6 against the Lakers, or even 5. I think game 5 against the Lakers. But in the past 2 games, the Timberwolves from 3 are like 12 of 70 something. And they're just firing and missing. And against us, they're like 12 for 12, 12 for 14. It's insane, the difference that the level that they play at against us. And obviously this, Denver OKC series is not over. If we win tonight, it's over. And I'm actually will say that, like, if the Nuggets somehow win both games in OKC and come home and have 3 of the next 4 with a chance to win just 2 of them to win the series, I think it's over. But if the Nuggets end up playing the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, first of all, electric matchup. We need some get back on them from when they were the 6 seed and took our 3 seed out before the whole Jokic era. I'm still mad about that. But Nuggets versus Warriors would be, I think, a TV wise, a pretty damn good Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, it would kind of be like a Steph Curry's last ride versus Jokic, getting to the mountaintop again. Jokic is the best player in the NBA. Just need the rest of the team to show up every night, and they will get back to the finals. They just announced that Bednar is locked in. They did fire the power play guy, whatever his name is. But I don't mind Bednar staying. It was so hard. Like, when we sat at the bar, that Nuggets and Avs game 7 back-to-back simultaneously.
Bukkake.
Yeah, it was just coming from both directions, and one was really good and one was absolutely terrible. And I was starting to get a little toasted at the bar by the time when the Avs went up 2-0. I was that Randy fucking Randy Marsh, South Park, just painted the whole room. Like, I was just in such shock that and in the back of my mind, I know it just sounds pessimistic, but I was like, I think we're going to lose one of these games. I don't know which it's going to be. And obviously I was dead wrong, because the Nuggets blew the Clippers out. Like, that was the biggest surprise to me. But then the Avs turn around and just piss down their leg in the third period. So that's I don't even want to get into it because I can't listen to any hockey media now. It just pisses me off just thinking about it. But the other series in the NBA are fun too. Like what I didn't realize last night is the Cavaliers didn't have Garland, they didn't have Mobley, and they didn't have Hunter. Like I didn't even know that. And if so, I probably would have bet on the Pacers. The Pacers were still down by double digits for the majority of the game, came back and won, but I did not realize that they were missing basically 3 of their top 7 guys because that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, the NBA, dude, just in general. I mean, you see 2 teams in both the East and West that had by far and away the best regular seasons of close to all timers. I don't know where they ended up finishing in terms. I think the Thunder won 68 games, so I don't know if that's the 3rd best regular season ever. The Cavaliers couldn't be beat by anyone at any point. I think they won 60 plus games, and
they
then
won
when
64.
You get to the 64, so yeah, once you get to the playoffs, these scrappy teams like. Are the Nuggets and the Pacers on the same level? I don't think so because I'm a homer and I love the Nuggets, but they've also have that championship pedigree and they have the same starting 5 or 5 of the same 6 main players that they had during the championship run. So they just have the pedigree, but like these comebacks are nuts, dude. And speaking on like the Nuggets being up 30, I was still a little bit worried because of how insane some of these comebacks have been. And Pacers have done it. The Nuggets have now done it too. OKC, where they were down, I think 15 at one point in the 3rd quarter, and everything. I was like slamming my phone. It looked bleak, and then it tightens up towards the end, dude. And teams make either stupid mistakes or they can't make shots, or Yoke takes SGA completely out of the play and just dominates.
Yeah,
I mean, makes Chet miss 2 free throws. Like how incredible,
dude! Have you ever seen a guy's face in real time that would rather be anywhere else than that free throw line than Chet Holmgren? Like I turned to Missy when we were watching it, and his face, I was like, he's missing one of these at least. I knew it. And then he missed the second one, and I was shocked. Like that, missing 2 like that basically lost them the game. I mean, let's be real. Dagnall or whatever the fuck his name is lost them the game. Jokic was that still is just like, if I was a Thunder fan, I wouldn't be able to sleep that night. You have Nikola Jokic subbed out for defense. We have no timeouts left. There's a good chance they could not let him touch the floor again. And then talk about an all-time fucking fumble on the Nuggets coaching staff's part. Like you take him out for one defensive possession with no timeouts and you can't get him back on the floor. Like unless they knew, and that's what Simmons and Zach Lowe were kind of talking about. Like was Adelman going big brain energy, knowing that Dagnall was going to foul immediately up 3 so he'd be able to get Jokic back in? Or did he make a grave fucking mistake and he's looking around for a second like, there goes any possibility of me earning this job? And then Dagnall just bails him out and gets Jokic right back in the game. Like that was blasphemy to me.
Yeah, just the screws just tightened up so tight at the end of that game, and that's so much fun. Win or lose, obviously, AG knocking that shot down. Like even if he misses that shot and the Nuggets are down 0-1, I still feel really good about how they played and how they fought towards the end. And when the game got tough and tight, they didn't blink. The Thunder fucking blinked.
Yeah, they're just gamers. They just have heart. And one other thing that I've tweeted about a few times, and I just feel the need to say this because Jalen Brunson also he's been called the best closer in basketball this last week. And I just think that's absolute poppycock. I'm also a homer for Jokic, but Jalen Brunson has directly modeled his game after James Harden. Like they're basically the same player. And it is the worst brand of basketball, in my opinion, to watch. And I just, there's nothing makes me happier than watching James Harden. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got caught a couple times throwing his head, throwing it off the fucking backboard, looking like a complete idiot. No foul call. Jalen Brunson breaking his neck, fucking throwing his head back so many times. And nothing satisfies me more than watching those go uncalled and just rubbing their nose in the fact that they're just trying to bait you into some dog shit foul call that they're not going to call in the playoffs. But I was talking to one of my golf buddies out here. His name's Rohan. We're actually playing together on Friday. But we meet up like every other weekend and have drinks and just bullshit about basketball. And it is a blast, and golf. But we bet before the Clippers series, he texted me and goes, what kind of action you want? I'll take Clippers, you take Nuggets. I was like, how about our next bar tab is on this series? And so we were texting back and forth after the series. And you know what's funny is he goes, Zubats is so bad. I'm like, brother, he's second team all NBA. Like and then I texted him after game one. I'm like, do you think Zubats is still bad? Like that, literally nobody can defend the Jokic. So I just thought that was pretty funny. But the sad part is Brunson and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and James Harden, they're going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. And who knows if the playoff success is going to come or not, it's to be seen. But these guys make hundreds of millions of dollars stat padding during the regular season, shooting 1 million free throws and averaging 35 a game when they're making 12 free throws a game. Like that shit is just not basketball to me. So when they go to the playoffs and none of these calls get made and they just look like complete fucking idiots, there's nothing more satisfying to me than that.
Yeah, I think we're talking about the same exact play. I think it was 4 or 5 minutes left in the game, and Shai threw that one up off the backboard, and it was like hoping for a foul, and they just swallowed the whistle. And
yeah,
it is great in the NBA how even though we get tired of the product and the national media and everybody that doesn't love the NBA is like, oh, look at this fucking bullshit that they call all the time. If you watch playoff basketball, and especially if it's in a tight game, it's very much it's a much more watchable product and a much more consistent product versus the foul baiting and the fucking grifting that happens for 82 games from, October to April, essentially.
Yeah, and you watch the regular season and then you watch the postseason, and it's two totally different sports. And you just wonder why the hell they can't do this all season long. Maybe because everybody just gets so physically beat up. And the 82 game season, if these guys played like this the whole time, the quality of product would go down. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, is the quality of the regular season good right now because they're protecting the players? No, it's not. It kind of fucking sucks. But if they don't protect them and the superstars get injured or whatever, they just don't have enough gas to play the postseason, then you have a shitty product as well. So I really don't know. I mean, obviously the answer is less regular season games, but that'll never happen because there's a reason these guys make 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year. So, and I've been saying it for a while. It is so crazy to think that star NBA players, if they play 20 years in the league, they will be billionaires on paper. Like, who would have thought you could make $1 billion playing a sport? And that is strictly on court money. Like, that is, Tiger Woods is a billionaire. He's made $100 million on the course. He's made, over $1 billion off the course. It is so hard to be an athlete and to make that kind of money. But it feels like the NBA is the perfect mixture of it, because the NFL, if you play 12 years, that's a long ass career just with injuries and all that shit. Even if you're making 60, 70 million dollars, which the quarterbacks will be here in a couple of years. But the NBA feels like that perfect sport where you can have dudes play 17, 18 years, maybe not at that high level where you're commanding 50 million a year, but look at James Harden, like 6 years old, I want to say, and he's making $40 million, and he's been making $30 to $40 million for the last decade. Like, it just blows my mind.
Yeah. So we're going to take this bullshitting from the NBA and the NHL playoffs, which we are no longer talking about. And we're going to talk about a little golf. So this is the point where we talk about the PGA Tour. We talk about some things that have been said over the past couple of weeks. And we're going to preview the Triust Championship this weekend at Philly Cricket Club. All right, let's start with Scottie Scheffler. Maybe we always say since Tiger, I think maybe the most dominant tournament performance in 10, 15 years, 20 years. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And yes, the field was obviously a little shot, but overall it wasn't like, this wasn't a straight up opposite field event like we're going to have this week to the side of the Triust. Look at me. I've got it dicked. But like just an all-time performance from Scottie. I was looking up some like bets and guys, the 6 best picks for this week and whatever, just doing a little research before my picks. And they have the 6 writers and they say what they've hit outright. And one of the guys' bios, it said hit Scottie at plus 240 outright at the CJ Cup. And I was like, sick. Which plus 240, if you can hit any bet at plus 240, it's still solid, but kind of insane that he goes in with those high of odds. And then I think after day 1, he was like minus 550 because he shot the course record day 1 and then was just absolutely cooking. So shout out to Scottie. And the people are asking, is TPC Craig Ranch too easy for the PGA Tour? Or is it just too easy for Scottie Scheffler?
Well, I mean, Eric Van Rooyen kind of put on a historic second place performance as well. So I think that course in general is just maybe a little too easy for the PGA Tour. But what Scottie did is nothing short of amazing. And you look back at the tournament and it's just throw the fastball. Like hindsight is 2020, but Scottie against that field, you're like, what could go wrong? And last week it did not, but that is why he is still one of the best players, if not the best player in the world, because he's got that extra level. And I've mentioned this a few times, but I think it is hard to put into words. When you watch Scottie Scheffler in and out week after week after week, he hits his number on irons and wedges so often that it is like otherworldly how good his distance control is. And I truly think that is what makes him like as elite as he is, because he is constantly hitting his numbers, even if it's 10 to 15 feet offline. He is directly in, like, it just blows my fucking mind. His proximity to the hole and his ability to control his distance is unlike anything I've ever seen. And then you look at a guy like Rory that feels like he so rarely hits his number, that feels like he's flag hunting, but he's, especially with the wedges, like Scottie is miles ahead of Rory with the wedges. And that's what is so funny. And it's kind of the anatomy of golf, is that Rory just hits it 30 yards by Scottie, can't wedge it close, is hot and cold with the putter, pretty decent around the green. Scottie just hits it dead straight off the tee, nothing crazy distance-wise, hits the irons proximity-wise closer than Rory, has a great short game, can't putt for shit at times. Like the sectors of their game that they're good at are so different, yet they're probably the 2 best players in the world right now. And then you look at a guy like Bryson, who just hits it 30 yards by Rory, and probably not 30 by Rory, but hits it longer than anybody, and kind of just calculates his way around the golf course. They all play such different games, and that's what is so fun to me. I mean, Scottie is now considered a shorter hitter, relatively speaking, for PGA Tour terms, which is kind of insane because he's honestly averaging 175 to 180 ball speed consistently, but that is not long for this tour standard that is 185 to 190. But just the fact that he can do what he does, and when he gets hot, it's just otherworldly. It does feel Tiger-esque, where, and similar to Rory, not recently, but when Rory first came on the scene, when Rory was winning, I remember the US Open, he won by like 8 strokes. And I remember watching at Congressional, I think it was 2014. He was, I could tell in the middle of Friday, I'm like, this is Rory's winning. Like there's no question. And since then, obviously Rory's career has gotten derailed and kind of come back onto the rails here recently. But when Scottie's on, like you said, the middle of Friday, you're like, you could bet the house on him winning this event. There's I don't know if there's anybody better with a lead than Scottie. It just feels like he steps on your throat time and time again. He shot 63 on Sunday. Like Van Rooyen, I think, shot 66 on Sunday and lost 3 strokes to the winner. Like, that's bananas.
Yeah. What was I'm going to find what you sent me, but I think it was just Scottie on the par 5s and 3s.
Oh, yes. Where was this?
He
was 22 under on the par 3s and 5s. And Van Rooyen he would have won the tournament by 1 just playing the par 3s and par 5s. Is what it was.
Sorry. It was if Scottie Scheffler only played the front 9 this week, he was minus 22 and Van Rooyen was minus 21. I mean,
that's fucking insane.
And what you spoke to is just so like nails between, can you really say who's the best player in the world right now? Is it Scottie or is it Rory? I think it's a clear cut 1A, 1B scenario, but they're both so different in their games and they're both so different the way they win tournaments. Rory can get the big leads or have the course records or the low rounds, but he's going to give it back. Scottie is not the one that is going to give anything back, but Scottie has to have a good Thursday, Friday in order to win a golf tournament. He's not going to come from behind 6, 7 shots on a Saturday, Sunday and win an event. Whereas Rory, even if he's 7, 8, depending upon who the leader is, 7, 8 out of it on cut day on Saturday morning, like he still has a legitimate shot. And not that Scottie can't go low, but we've seen it time and time again where 90% of Scottie's wins are just wire to wire, or he's within 1 or 2 of the lead going into the weekend and then just outlasts the entire field essentially. And Rory's the guy that's like, oh my God, he's up by 12. Oh my God, he's up by 3 in the Masters, 2 holes in. Oh, it's tied, or he's down 1. And then he comes back again. So he's the roller coaster, and Scottie's more of just the train where he just rolls along and continues at his own speed and exactly how he's going to do it. And sometimes it's faster and better than everyone else. And sometimes it's not, but he's not catching up to anybody usually in an event. But when you go out and shoot 61 on Thursday, just continue to fire every low 60s you can find. TPC Craig Ranch got opened up this past weekend, and that won by, I think, what was the total? 10 shots. He was 31 under, and Van Rooyen was 21 under.
I think he won by 9. I think he was
maybe 30, because I think he needed par to have the lowest PGA Tour score of all time in relation to par for a 4-day event, which is now famously every year at the Century Tournament of Champions, or whatever the fuck they call it, the first tournament of the year in January in Hawaii, where guys are just shooting 35 under, 34 under. John Rahm shot 33 or 32 a couple of years ago. That's like the event where people just go insanely low, and everybody thinks it's the John Deere, which is somewhat similar to that, but that's more of a 22 to 26 under. If you're not shooting 66 every day, you're kind of behind the field. But
Van Rooyen was 23 under for the week, so he won by 8.
Oh, okay. So that front 9, basically they're just saying the front 9 was easy, because Van Rooyen on the back 9 was only 2 under the whole week, and Scottie was
7.
7. But
so another crazy stat is, if you finished in the top 5, you finished 14 shots behind the leader, the winner. Which is, so let's see so T5, and then it went up to T13 at 16 under. So there was a big stack of guys in that 15, 16, 17 under range. And
including our boy Hubs. Shout out to the boy Hubs,
yeah.
Little top
T5,
5 on tour.
Yeah, make you a quick $400,000 in a week. That's not too shabby. And then you had Sam Burns T5, which I really didn't even notice. And then Jordan Spieth had a good week as well. And Sam Stevens played well, Eric Van Rooyen. But actually, Jordan Spieth, I want to talk about this quickly. Did you see that Amanda Balionis asked him about his chances at the career Grand Slam at the PGA? And I guess he was talking to Rory about it on the range. It was like on a hot mic or something this week. And he goes, yeah, we'll see we'll see how it goes. I mean, I have a chance, but Rory McIlroy Country Club is pretty tough. Like, he basically called Quail Hollow Rory McIlroy Country Club. So does that just mean that it's obviously we got another week, we have a signature event, but is Rory just far and away the favorite next week? Should it just be similar to Scottie at the CJ Cup? Like, is this just Rory's to win or Rory's to lose and everybody else is chasing him type shit?
Well, let's do this. Let's guess. Let's go. Whose line is it anyway on the lines for the PGA Championship next week? I'm going to say Rory's plus 300 and Scottie's plus 340. That's my guess.
I was going to say Rory, I think would be plus 350 and Scottie would be like plus 420.
Okay.
Did they already do they have odds out yet?
Oh, I guess maybe they do. I should have thought about that. If it's a major event, I'm sure they would have the odds out. Let's check in on the DraftKings Sportsbook. Shout out to DraftKings. They do not sponsor us, but if they want to, we're here. We're here for the taking.
We are available.
PGA. Oh, yep. Odds are out. Oh, interesting. We were. What did you say for Scottie?
I said plus 420 for Scottie and plus 350 for Rory.
Okay, so Scottie is plus 400. Rory McIlroy is plus 475.
Ooh.
And then who? Let's play a little fun game here. Who do you think is third, fourth, and fifth in odds at plus 1,400, 1,600, then 1,800?
I'd say Bryson.
Bryson is plus 1,400. He's third shortest odds.
Colin Morikawa.
No.
Xander Schauffele.
Xander Schauffele is plus 1,800, and there's a guy in the middle at plus 1,600.
Ludwig Oberg.
He is 2,000.
Who am I missing here? Justin Thomas?
He is way down there.
The PGA merchant, Justin Thomas.
Where is he at? Oh, he's plus 2,200. Right behind.
Am I just having a brain fart here? Who am I missing?
It's kind of a surprising. He's not a PGA Tour player. Let's put it that way.
Oh, who's on LIV? Brooks Koepka.
He's down there as well, which he's kind of a PGA.
Joaquin Niemann.
No, come on, brother. Who was number one in the world for like 2 years?
Mito Pereira. He had a good run at the fucking PGA.
Till he fucking one in the water to the right. Fucking didn't finish his golf.
Oh, he swung at 30 degrees left into the fucking. Oh my god, dude! Why do I always have this brain fart about who's on the fucking LIV Tour at this point?
Spaniard.
Oh, John Rahm. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Why do I keep forgetting John Rahm plays golf? Like it is the weirdest fucking thing where he's been a top 5 guy in the entire, and I guess he just hasn't done anything in 2 years. He won the Masters 2 years ago or 3 years ago. But it just feels like he hasn't done absolutely fuck all since then. So
yeah, I wouldn't touch John that Rahm number with the fucking 10-foot pole.
No, I would not either. But also,
and Bryson's
Schauffele's
fresh off a win. Bryson's fresh off a win in South Korea at the Jack Nicklaus course here in LIV, and then LIV plays this weekend as well. So a double ramp up until
where does LIV play this weekend? Do you know?
I want to say it's at. This is great. Great podcasting.
If you're watching on the video, it's a little better than the audio currently.
LIV Golf Virginia, Robert Trent Jones Golf Club.
Okay, that would honestly be kind of a fun watch. They had one last year in Washington, D.C. I think it was maybe Donald Trump's course in D.C., and that actually looked like that was a pretty fun event to watch as well. So I might dabble, a little bit of both, a little LIV, a little Triust Championship, the Triust, in Spencer's words. But do we just want to get into the Triust real quick because
well, let's talk about Eric Van Rooyen's comments about getting into the Triust.
Yes, okay.
Triust, yes. Okay, I think it's dialed. All right, so Eric Van Rooyen, this is from Brentley Romine, Brentley GC on X, the everything app. Eric Van Rooyen was asked about qualifying for next week's $20 million purse no-cut Triust Championship via the Aon Swing 5, and he responded, "How honest do you want me to be? I hate it." And then he laughed as well, laughter in parentheses. "I strongly believe the strongest fields are the one with the most players in them. The guys on the PGA Tour are so good. It's so deep. I get that you have the Scotties and of the world, the Rorys of the world, and people want to see them. It's entertaining. Like the PGA Championship coming up, for example. I think it's the strongest field in the game, similar to the players. I love competing, so selfishly, I want to compete against those guys. Again, really proud of playing my way into it." And then he goes on to say, "I saw Wyndham's comment 2 years ago. He was in the 100 to 125 spot. He would have lost his card, and now he's a major winner, and all of a sudden." And Rory, I know he said he wants the tour to be more cutthroat. Well, this is the most cutthroat sport there is. If you miss the cut, you're gone, bro. You're not making money. The NBA has over 300 guys playing. We have 144 guys playing next week at the Players. This is from an earlier interview. That's not a lot. And more than half of them aren't making money. So, and then it goes on to talk about the Premier League soccer players. And then he goes, I'm sorry, John Rahm, you're a fantastic player, but you're not worth the zeros they gave you. You're not worth more than what Cristiano Ronaldo is making. I'm sorry. We don't have the following. We're not the NBA. We're not the NFL. I get there are a handful of really famous and good golfers, but how many of them have won tournaments so far this year? So some pretty deep cut comments from Van Ruyen, who had of course, his signature win last year after his buddy was in the hospital and then had passed away. So he kind of dedicated that to him. Great mustache on the guy. But what are your kind of thoughts on, I think one of the interesting things is the fact that he said the PGA Championship has the deepest field. I mean, that's got to be Michael Block. That's got to be all Michael Block.
Dude, that is the Block party, 1000%. I was actually just about to say, I already can't stand Michael Block's fucking face on TV. The dude just hits me in the worst of all spots. Like, I just cannot fucking stand the guy. I hope they have a bet. I hope they have a line on him to miss the cut, because I will dig deep in my pockets and fucking throw a couple hundred shillings on him missing the cut. He's gonna fucking
probably gonna be like minus 300 to miss the cut, I would guess. Minus 400.
I don't know, dude. You know, any given week, you know, if he hit it as far as Rory, he would win. Like, that's just no questions asked. Like, that truly is the difference. So I just wish this Michael Block story would be put to bed. It's not anybody else's fault. Like, he did qualify on his own merit. So kudos to him, but I can't stand another week. You know, there's going to be a Golf Channel segment, an ESPN segment on Michael Block and the hole in one and it went in. Like, I didn't see it go in. It went in. Like, oh my God, dude, just fucking shut up. Like, holy cow. I'm done with that guy already.
As all you guys know, if you've been listening this entire year or you're new, we are part of the Golfer Gang Network. They're doing a live show with a roundtable, if you will, on Sunday evening, I believe 8 p.m. Eastern. Mitch will be on that, getting all his Michael Block takes out. Was the highlight of the last Masters roundtable, and I'm sure it's going to be the highlight of this one if he fucking figures out his right names, the right people that he's talking about. But all right, let's get into the Triust. I just have one quick thing that you sent me that I want to get out in the open. Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka had dinner last night, hosted by Keegan Bradley, for those in the mix of the Ryder Cup team from Todd Lewis GC. So kind of interesting where that team is going to go. I mean, we've talked about it kind of at length, but Keegan's really going to do his best job to put the best players on the golf course, because yes, the U.S. lost the last, or did they win? They lost the last Ryder Cup because it was on European soil. They got embarrassed. And it's kind of this back and forth between the home team is just dominating the Ryder Cup, which is fine. But I think you can't lose the one at home. Like, when you lose on the road, you're like, we lost and the Europeans are good and their crowd was crazy. But like, Keegan Bradley cannot lose this Ryder Cup. He cannot lose at Bethpage. We're close to where he grew up, blah, blah, blah. He cannot lose this Ryder Cup. So he's going to turn over every single stone that he can in order to win this Ryder Cup. All right, let's get to the Triust Championship from Rory McIlroy this week. Interesting little take. And, I normally go back in years and say, hey, how did this golf course perform the prior years when I'm picking my bets? And there is no real history here. I mean, this golf course is awesome. Let me start at that. Philadelphia Cricket Club sounds electric. How far is it from you?
It's like Northwest Philadelphia, so like an hour and a half away, probably probably an hour and a half or so. And it actually does bum me out because I wanted to go, but tickets Friday and Saturday are sold out. And tickets for Saturday on the resale market are over $250 general admission. Wow. Like, maybe I'm just very disconnected because I've paid $250 for a sports event, like a basketball game ticket or a football ticket or a hockey ticket many a time. Like, it doesn't faze me, but I see $250 for a PGA Tour event, a non-major, and it just kind of rubs me the wrong way. Like, I'm not spending $250 to walk around and fucking it just doesn't. For $250, I should have a seat.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I feel that. I think it's just the mixture of the fact that it is a signature event. So, 70 players. It's much like the event at Castle Pines last year, where a smaller event in a city that doesn't get a ton of consistent PGA Tour events. I think that's and a new golf course, like a different spot. I think that formula is just what's making it so expensive. And Rory's quote on Philadelphia Cricket Club, since there's not a ton of history here, he said, sort of, quote, it sort of to me feels like a smaller version of Oak Hill. Not a lot of strategy off the tee, just hit driver everywhere and then figure it out from there. That's sort of the strategy of this place this week. And all I'm trying to say is that's my strategy every golf course I play. Hit driver and figure it out from there. I mean, am I wrong?
I mean, I've seen you hit a handful of 4-irons, much to your dismay, or a hybrid off the tee that then you're also searching for. But yeah, I mean, I think that golf purists are rolling in their grave, or just throwing up if you're with us still, at Rory McIlroy's comments, because that is the point of these old school golf courses, and this is the ultimate reason if you want to pick a point into why the ball is being rolled back and why they want them to hit it shorter. It is these comments right here, because this is an A.W. Tillinghast design, which is a legendary designer. A lot of golf courses, a lot of prestigious clubs in the Northeast here are an A.W. Tillinghast design, and just a very classic, well-made golf course with very precise bunkering, very unique greens, and you really have to strategize the tee ball if you don't hit it 330 yards. But at this point, all the bunkers that would be in play for any of these dudes are really not in play for the long hitters. And that's where everybody is kind of lost on this whole distance thing, because it just takes a lot of the strategy out of the game. And I was actually looking at this scorecard, and it honestly feels like this course is going to get torched this week. Just by looking at the distances, number one's a 365-yard par 4. Number 2 is 373. Number 3 is 170-yard par 3. And then you get into a few longer holes, 427 for a par 4. For your average player, decent length. For Rory, he's going to have sand wedge in, and that might be lob wedge. Who knows? And then you have a 540-yard par 5, very gettable by many standards. Then you get into a few longer ones, a 450-yard par 4, 435, a 240-yard par 3, and then you finish the front 9 with a 430-yard. Basically, anything under 430 yards, I consider pretty short for your average PGA Tour player, because they're driving it 290 yards, so that means they're going to have 140 yards in. Anything less than a 150-yard approach shot, I feel like, is a birdie opportunity. And then I'll just go through all of them real quick. So you have a 450-yard par 4 10th, 490-yard par 4, a 425-yard par 4, 423-yard par 4. Number 14 is a 122-yard par 3, which I absolutely love.
I saw that. That's incredible.
Love a good short par 3. And then you've got another par 5 that's only 550, very gettable, probably iron in hand for the most part. And then you have the finishing stretch, I think, will be somewhat of a challenge. These guys are probably going to have an 8, 9, 10 under round going at that point through 15. But then you have a 215-yard par 3, the 16th, and back-to-back par 4s, 17 and 18, 498 and 517. So actual decent length holes where Rory may actually be hitting an 8-iron into a par 4. Like, I mean, what is 17 at Augusta? It's like 490 now, and Rory had 9-iron in. So, you simply cannot make these golf courses long enough for these guys, but it just feels like this one in particular, if these guys are hitting driver everywhere, I could see the winning score being 20 plus under. Like, it's just, and especially this last week, there has been a fair amount of rain. There is rain in the forecast pretty heavily for Friday, so they might get a little bit of a delay. But the course is going to be soft, and these guys are just going to be aiming at flags left and right. So it's basically going to be a wedge fest out there by the looks of it.
Good old wedge fest. We love that. This is the only course in the United States of America that can claim 3 18-hole golf courses from 3 different centuries. The original layout evolved from 1895 to 1897 and called the St. Martin's Course is in the Chestnut Hill section of Philadelphia, 8 miles northwest of the city center. It held the U.S. Open in 1907. That was won by Don Ross's older brother. That's how far back this goes. And then in 1922, that's when this club opened, the Wissahickon course, designed by A.W. Tillinghast, which you got out. Like, you did not struggle with that name at all. But yeah, just really cool old golf course. Like, I'm excited to watch the players on this course just because it is fun. Like, yes, the Masters is great. And yes, all these tournaments, most of them, relatively speaking, are great to watch each week. But it is fun when you get the guys on a course that hasn't been played a ton. And they did an entire kind of redesign of this golf course back in 2013. They hosted a senior tour open here in 2016, but then there was a lot of issues with, like, players had to take a cart to the range, so they did a whole rerouting of a lot of the holes in the golf course in order to make it championship ready. They also said there wasn't enough room for corporate suites, the people paying all the money. There wasn't enough room for those behind the green on 18. So they've done a little bit of rerouting and redesigning in order to get this place where it's going to be. And I'm looking for, and just the fact that it's called the Philadelphia Cricket Club just makes me want to be a member there. It's electric name.
Yeah, it is a very prestigious club. I actually think they have a headquarters like in downtown Philadelphia. That's just where they meet, where their board, like, I don't know exactly, but they have a separate like club that's just the Philadelphia Cricket Club. That's just a club itself without a golf course. So it's a very high-end, prestigious Philadelphia area thing. And yeah, the courses look fucking unbelievable. Like, I don't think it's surprising, but if you know relatively golf, famous golf courses, but the Philly and into North Jersey area, even South Jersey into North Jersey, is some of the best golf in the world. Like, it truly is crazy the amount of very, very good championship golf courses that are in this area. Like, I'm 15 minutes from Baltusrol right now, and I'm 15 minutes from Liberty National, or 30 minutes from Liberty National, and Bayonne, and it's just the courses. Hamilton Farm just hosted a U.S. Amateur. It fucking is nonstop. So this is just one of the many very, very good Philly area courses, and I think the weather is going to be perfect. Other than Friday, it looks like it's in the low 60s with some rain, but other than that, it's like perfect spring weather. It's mid to low 70s out here, and it's going to be a great week for these guys. The scoring conditions are going to be absolutely perfect. Like, they are going to shred this course. Fucking, I can't even say it. They're going to absolutely blow the tits off this course's body. So it may be one of those courses where they're like, I don't think that place can host a PGA Tour event again. Like, we cannot have another course that looks this easy on TV, especially the week before. Well, I guess the PGA is, by popular standard, the easiest major of them all, but leading up into a major week, it does feel like a little bit of a cupcake.
Yeah, and Scottie is actually not playing in the Triust this week, and I also just looked it up. A Philadelphia Cricket Club initiation fee is only $2,000. That is as of 2020, so I don't know if that's changed. That's just what the AI overview gave me. I didn't want to scroll too much through the website, but $22,000 for initiation because they have the 3 courses. Sounds like a pretty electric place to be a member at. Let's get our picks out there in the universe. Thank you guys all for tuning into Big Drive Energy. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We'd appreciate that. Here are our picks for the Truist this coming week. I'm rolling with Viktor Hovland, signature event. A lot of people are fading him this week. I probably should be too, but I'm not going to. Viktor seems to win the events when he's not picked. Like, the more doubted he is, the better he plays. And I think, like most of these signature events, you get the random Kurt Kitayamas or whatever that win. But I think most of these signature events, it's going to be a pool of 15 to 20 guys that have a legit shot at winning it. So I'm going to go with Viktor Hovland at plus 2,500. And then I'm going to go Corey Connors top 10 at plus 225. Just seems like a guy that, against these bigger fields, like, I have relatively no confidence in him winning this event, even though I did put him in my one and done this week. But I have a lot of confidence in him being a guy that's like, oh, there's Corey Connors at the top of the leaderboard again. And then Mitch blessed us with his long shot this week, so we're going to roll with that. Max Grieserman at plus 10K. 10K on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
I do like Grieserman because he is a North Jersey guy, and I feel like it's just a good vibe for him. He knows these kind of golf courses, has obviously been playing good golf these last couple of years, one of those guys on the come up. I don't know why, but Patrick Cantlay just gives me a good vibe this week. He only has 2 top 10s this year, but in 9 events, he's made all 9 cuts, and he has finished like top 15, I think, in 5 of them. He's finished right in between that 10 and 15. So he's had some good finishes. He hasn't gotten it across the finish line yet, but this course, the way A.W. Tillinghast designs a lot of these courses is for the greens to really be highlighted. And Cantlay is one of the best putters on the PGA Tour, pretty much year in and year out. So I feel good about him. If it's a wedge and putter game, I do like Patrick Cantlay to emerge. And then Justin Rose plus 400. He's a classic golf course type of dude. I think he won his U.S. Open. Where did he win his U.S. Open? Was it at Marion?
That sounds right.
Or was that Dustin Johnson? Justin Rose. Anywho, he's a
Marion,
very big.
You're correct. 2013 at Marion, clinching his first major championship title. Shout out!
My God, look at that poll. That is impressive. And look at what Justin Rose did at the Masters a couple weeks ago. I definitely think that he is playing some great golf right now, and plus 400 to top 10. A lot of these dudes, like half of the field is under plus 400 to top 10. I'm like, that just feels like you're throwing darts at a board, which I am essentially doing every week anyways. So just take that with a grain of salt when I give you my betting picks. I am pretty hot right now. Let's touch on this as well. Our one and done for the PGA Tour. It's broken down into segments, and we are in this current segment, and I am leading it. So you can address me as segment leader Mitchell Smith going forward until that crown has been taken. I would like to be called by my government name, segment leader Mitchell Smith. So I did take Patrick Cantlay in my one and done this week. So I bet he shoots like 75, fucking 82, makes $0. And then next week you can just address me by my regular loser Mitchell Smith. Sucks at gambling on golf. Mitchell Smith will be next week's name for me. But I don't know why. Like, I am just the king of vibes, the king of betting on vibes. And Patrick Cantlay does have a vibe to me like he could win this week. So
love that. Well, we appreciate you guys all tuning into Big Drive Energy this week. We will be back Sunday.
What about a WTF Wednesday? Do you have a what the fuck Wednesday?
Oh yeah, we got to do a WTF Wednesday. I'll start with mine. Mine actually happened about 6 hours ago at 5 a.m. this morning. I'm at the gym, and there's like a turf area where I go and stretch because I'm old. I like to get a nice roll out, roll the calves out, roll the thighs out, back, all that stuff.
That shit hurts, by the way. That rolling out your back and your leg. Oh,
rolling out your back feels good. Rolling out your calves actually hurts if you put all your weight on it. But so it's early. I mean, the gym's only been open for like 45 minutes, an hour or whatever. I woke up at 3:45 just on my own, and I was like, I'm not going back to sleep. I'm just going to go. So I'm there early. The turf is fucking wide open. And this dude puts his goddamn mat literally 2 feet from where I'm doing my shit. I had to move him. I gave him a look, and then I had to move my mat over to the other side of the box that I was like doing some box jumps on. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You have this whole turf. I don't know why you literally have to get within 2 feet of me, but I could fucking smell his cologne. That's how close he was. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God. Yeah. That's, there's nothing worse than people getting in your personal space. Like that shit just bugs the absolute fuck out of me, especially at the gym. Like it's well documented on this podcast, but I am very much a get in and get out of the gym. I can't stand the dudes that every person that walks by, they're like, yo, what's up? Like, and maybe, I'm just not a gym community guy. I'm like, I go to the gym so I can feel something for the day. And then that's why I'm there. I'm not there to make friends So just don't get in my personal space. So yeah, that'll piss you right off. Well, my other WTF, my belly button was a big what the fuck. Like it just feels like it's the closest thing to the sun, maybe. So that's why it gets torched. But the other one was we were flying back from Phoenix to Newark. And if you watch the news or anything, you've heard that Newark Airport is a giant nightmare right now. Actually, I heard for a period of time, and I'm glad I heard this after the flight. There was a 90-second period of time where air traffic control completely lost communication with all the planes in the area as planes are trying to land and shit. So that just generally made me feel very unsettled after I heard it, but we were already on the ground, thank God. So we actually, Missy had a bunch of points built up that she hadn't used in forever. So she used points to get us up to first class, which was great because it was a 5-hour flight. So we sat in first class and everything just feels like it should go right. And I know this is the epitome of white people problems or whatever you want to call them. But I buy the Wi-Fi, it immediately goes out. I have no Wi-Fi for 5 hours. And that's right when the Nuggets are starting to play. So I can't watch the Nuggets. And then I try to pair my AirPods to the TV. Those won't pair. And then they actually feed you a meal in first class. And we get around and we were in the very last row of first class. They had no meal option left for us. They're basically like, you guys are eating this because this is all we have left. And we're like, oh, cool. Thanks. That's what this $800 a person ticket is for. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So I can have a dried out chicken breast. I wasn't bitching about it, but it was just a little bit of like, how do you let the Wi-Fi go out? And that's just $8. I might as well fucking go take it out of my pocket and drop it in the toilet and piss on it. Like you just light it on fire. I had Wi-Fi for like a half hour of a 5-hour fucking flight. And they're not like, let's try to get you your money back. They're just like, sorry, it's just gone. Of course it connected long enough to get you to pay for it. And then it's like, oh, it's out. Like, holy shit. So it's just
it's worse. And it's worse too when it kind of starts to work and you pay for it and get it and then you lose it. Like if they just start you out, no lube, all sandpaper finish and say, hey, we don't have Wi-Fi on the flight. Like it's not great, but you're at least not hoping for it to connect. When you think that there's a glimmer of hope there and you're refreshing the unitedwifi.com or whatever the fuck the site is, you're trying Safari, you're trying Google Chrome. I've tried all the things and then it's just not working. You're like, oh, well, this is going to suck. Especially I don't take a ton of long flights, but 5 hours. Oh my God.
That was like the longest flight I've been on in a hot minute. I've been on a lot of like 4-hour flights. And doesn't make it much better, but 5 hours without Wi-Fi, I'm just raw dogging like a podcast and just sitting there doing nothing. And Missy's the smart one that downloads her own TV shows and shit on her iPad. That's an appointment the day before a flight. And I'm just sitting there looking around. Like they did bring us some warm nuts in first class, which was nice. I got a little warm bowl of cashews. I actually found out, the term soup to nuts.
Yeah.
So that actually is derived from like a full meal. Like you start with the soup, you end with like warm nuts. So soup to nuts. For some reason, I don't know where I thought that came from, but it's just like you start at the mouth with the soup and you go all the way down to the nuts. Like that's kind of, I don't know. I was thinking more of a body part thing than a meal thing, but I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. I learn something new every day when I talk to you.
Also, who ends their meal with nuts? Like I'm never like, let's have a handful of cashews to finish this thing off like that.
You're just not cultured, apparently.
I guess not. They did warm up the nuts too, which is not something I've ever thought of. Like, do they make them more valuable if you heat them up? I'm like, I'd take cold nuts as well. Like that. I don't need my trail mix fucking in the microwave. Like that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever had too. So.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in to this episode of Big Drive Energy. We'll be back Sunday afternoon, evening, once we figure out the tee times, figure out where I'm at in the pool party scenario. Mitchell will definitely be here to recap the Triust Championship at Philadelphia Cricket Club. Give us a thumbs up on your way out if you're watching this on the YouTube, or if you're just listening to the audio version, make sure to rate our show. We'd appreciate it. We are Big Drive Energy, part of the Golfer Gang Network. Enjoy your weekend. We are 1 week away from another major, and we're looking forward to it. We will talk to you guys on Sunday. Peace.
Peace.